Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 10 of the Aspiring Polymath. I'm here with Mr. Jefferson again. Some of you might remember him from episode 3. If you don't, you should probably go listen to that episode. Welcome back to the show, Jeff.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back on the aspiring polymath again.
So today we'll be talking about a project that Jefferson is working on. I believe it should be kicking off tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Today,
yeah.
February.
So, okay. Yeah. Go ahead and introduce us to what this new project is.
Yeah. So on Monday, tomorrow, depending on what time you're listening to this podcast, right, it might be the day before, day after, who knows. But Monday, February 1st, I'm launching Bantu Investments. Bantu Investments is a paid Discord community where I teach people how to be financially, you would say, educated and financially responsible, right? On the website, if you get to visit it, it's bantuinvestments.com. It will be launched on Monday as well, Monday morning or Monday afternoon. I'll send out a newsletter to everybody that's on the wait list. And you spell that BANTUINVESTMENTS.com, right? And basically, I'm going to be teaching people three major things. The biggest and first thing is investing and trading. And I invest a lot in the stock markets. I use multiple different brokerages, and so I realized that I have a lot of friends that used to always hit me up like, "Hey, could you invest for me?" or "How did you get started?" and all of that. So I decided, why not create something that everybody can use? And so that's the first and probably the largest area is investing and trading. And then the second major item is financial planning, which will include building your credit, how to budget, right? One of the best ways to get wealthy is either to make more money or spend less money. So we'll teach people how to do both or one or the other, right? If you're making 100 grand a year and you don't have any savings, then your problem is not really that you make less. Your problem is that you don't know how to keep the money you make.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. If you make $25,000 a year, right, then you can't really spend any less because you're already like at the bottom of the barrel. So we'll then work towards getting you new skills, acquiring new skills, what skills best fit your personality, and so on and so forth. And then you can increase your skills so you can make more money and be well off. So that's the second largest thing. And then the third is a community. So uh, I got used to doing a lot of things on my own all the time. I'm always like, yeah, I can do it on my own. I don't need it. But mostly that's a result of just having a history of meeting people that were really just not reliable. But I realized that's not everybody, right? I've met some people that are very reliable as well. So I want to give my community members a community of people that have the same goal as them. They're learning the same things that can help them, right? I have some experts coming in from different fields, from the forex and crypto market, from the real estate market. So I have people that they can ask questions to and learn other things than the things I can personally provide all the time. And so that community, I think, is going to be the most important part, actually. Not even the investing or trading. The community will probably be the most important part because then you have somebody you can always talk to. You can always hop in the chat, ask a question. There's a Q&A channel, ask a question. If you don't get an answer from me, you're going to get an answer from somebody in the community. So that's the idea behind Bantu Investments. And the thinking behind the name, right? Bantu. I'm a Bantu person. If you remember our last episode, right, when I was
Yeah.
Africa, right, the Bantu people were part of the Congolese kingdom, which was one of the largest sub-Saharan African kingdoms when it was, in existence. And the Bantu people, the root of the word Bantu means like a people, the people, right? So Bantu investment is the people's investment. So
Oh,
that, that's the
okay. Okay.
that's the significance behind it. And it is a subsidiary of my Bantu Group LLC. So the People's Group LLC. So that's how I got that name. In case you were you were curious.
All right. I'm sure somebody would have been wondering about that.
But yeah, man,
Interesting.
that's the short notes for it.
Just think the nomenclature for your groups here, just like what's the other one? Ukwaji.
Hmm.
Like I like the names. That seems very comprehensive. I thought it was gonna be like a group centered around stock trading and forex options, but that seems like a very comprehensive
Yeah, what?
idea there.
Yeah, the reason why I have those three major pillars is because, like, when I started, right? Like, bro, I come from where I come from, like the broker end of the world population, you know. So, and when I started trading and investing, I realized all these groups. I never really wanted to join them because all they did was say, "Here's the info about trading and investing, and then here are the signals that I'm sending out." You can't do any of
Yeah,
those things unless you understand your finances and you understand finances, right? Like I do an 80-20 rule, which I'm going to enforce in the group, right? I don't do a lot of speculative trading, right? You know what's been happening in the market right now with the GameStop and
yeah,
AMC, right? Like I don't do speculative trading, which means I don't get into that because of the hype, right? I have to understand the fundamentals and the technicals, right? And so I follow an 80-20 rule, which I'm also going to enforce in the community. All that means is 80% of the money you're going to be investing goes towards long-term investments that you're going to hold for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And
yeah,
those includes high growth stocks, dividend stocks, REITs, mutual funds, index funds. And if you don't know any of those things and you're listening, just join the community and you will learn about all those things. A little piece of ad there. But so 80% of the money goes towards those. Then 20% of your money, that's your play money. That's the money that you're okay with losing like within minutes if you wanted to or if you're okay with it. And in that 20%, we'll be working on. I have somebody who come in with penny stocks. She does research for penny stocks, and then she will send it to the group. Either I'll vet them, or somebody else will vet them, or we'll discuss how we go about trading them. Right? Penny stocks, where you can put in $20, it could double to $40, or you could lose $20, but you won't be crying about it because it's $20 and it's only the 20%. Right?
yeah,
And options trading. I'm a pretty decent options trader. So I'm going to be doing option calls, and I'm going to teach people how to do options first, and then I'm going to throw out what my plays are, what I'm buying for this week, what I'm selling for this week, and so on and so forth. That's what you do with that 20%, right? But the only way you can actually do that is you have to have a plan, you have to understand the plan, and you have to stick to the plan, right? And you can't just come into the chat and get a bunch of calls if you don't understand, how your finances work. If you make, like I said, 100 grand a year, right, and you're not saving any money, how are you going to invest? If you make 100 grand a year and you are $30,000 in debt with credit cards, how are you going to invest, right? So
yeah,
that's why I wanted it to be comprehensive. Learn what your finances are on your own personal level, at least at the level that matches you, right? I'm going to do breakdowns of different earning brackets on, where you should be living in your means, below your means, so you can save and invest more money, and where you need to increase your earnings and stuff like that. So
yeah. Options are one area I've traditionally stayed away from. It's just naturally, I don't know.
it
The
is it,
whole
it is it can be a lot safer than most people imagine because it's very risky. I mean, you have a chance of making more money. You know what they say, right?
yeah,
The riskier it is, the higher the not the higher the chance. The lower the chance of making money, the higher the amount of money you can make. You know, so
yeah. My issue with it is I don't want to say intangible because the contract does represent something, but
yep,
usually you don't want to go ahead and execute the contract usually.
yeah.
So my issue with it is the fact that if something goes wrong, if I buy an option for like 2 months from now and something goes wrong in that time, the closer I get to that time, the less it's worth, the higher the chance that I have to execute it. It just seems,
Because
I don't know. I'd rather just buy stock that I know is like a piece of the
destroy your.
company.
But let me bring something to your attention that you might have not thought about before, right? You're familiar with spreads, right?
Yeah, somewhat. I'm not exactly an expert at it, but I've heard the term.
Yeah. So imagine, yeah, for example, you have we're talking. Let's say we're talking about Apple. Let's say Apple's worth $100 right now, right?
Yeah,
And then you want to bet that Apple's going to be worth more than $100 in a month's time at the end of next month, right?
yeah,
Go ahead and buy a call, right? That costs you, let's say, about $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the whole month, Apple trades at literally just $100, right? You lose that money because Apple didn't go above it, because you obviously have to get to your break-even price, which all of this is going to be explained in videos that
Yeah.
I'm making for the community. So it might not make sense to a lot of people right now. But you took your strike price, which was $100, you added the
Mm-hmm.
cost of your contract, which was $5. So you need Apple to close at above $105 for you to make money. But let's say Apple trades at exactly 100 for that whole month. You lose that money, right?
Unless you execute, yeah, you lose that
Yeah,
money.
and you don't want to execute because, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to get anything out of it, right? And so you lose that money. Now, the same thing. Let's say you believe Apple's going to be worth more than 100 a month. Now, instead of buying an open call, you do a put credit spread, right? Which means you sell a put at a certain strike price and you buy one at a lower strike price than the one you sold at. You reap that credit, right? And you put collateral of the same $500, right? So now you received, let's say this credit will probably be like 200 and let's say $210. So you receive a credit of $210. Your collateral is that $500 that you put, it's your collateral, right? In case Apple doesn't go above 100 or, tanks,
Okay.
tanks, you know that you only lose that 500, which you were going to lose anyway if you're doing an open call. But
Yeah.
now you've hedged yourself because you receive a credit of 210, and if Apple drops below, let's say 95, you only lose 500. You don't lose any more than that. If it goes to all the way to zero, you only lose 500. But now you've also limited your gains, right? You don't want to make infinite amount of money if Apple goes up forever.
Yeah.
So let's say at the end of the month, Apple still trades at the same $100. Guess what? You make money because your break even
Mm.
is now less than 100. It's going to be like 97.
Interesting. I haven't tried one of those before. That's
So you
interesting.
you will still make money, even though the same thing happened as last time. But this time you did a put credit spread. You took the credit, right? So you will keep some of the credit, and then you will split it at the price that Apple closes at. If it closes at 100 and your break even is like 90 97, right? And Apple didn't go above 100, you only give back like maybe $20 of your credit, right? And you keep the other 190, and you get your
Yeah.
$500 in collateral back when the contract expires worthless,
Hmm.
right?
So basically, it decreases your risk.
Yes. It decreases your risk, but also caps the amount of money you can make. And so those type of, what you call it, strategies I use a lot, especially when there's options that I cannot afford, like those, $30 contracts that are like $3,000 when you buy them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not able to afford one of those, so I'll buy like two or three spreads, right? With the sentiment that I'm feeling, and then I can make money that way. There's those all those spreads: put credit spreads, call debit spreads, put debit spreads, call credit spreads. You have strangles, iron condors, uh, straddles. I mean, there's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
strategies you can deploy to minimize your risk, but they also capsize your potential gains. So those are the things that I hope
Nice.
get to the point where I'll be teaching that to my members, and they can deploy it in their own trading systems, and if they follow a certain strategy for themselves, and have that in their arsenal of tools.
Yeah, I've seen options like that before. Well, when I say options, no pun intended. I mean, I've seen strategies like that before, but never completely understood them. So I tended to just push them to one corner and stay away from them. I only dabble in options every now and then. But that's interesting. That's stuff that people want to learn. I know a lot of people are interested in getting the market, especially when they hear things like maybe not the right reason, but whenever they hear things like this GameStop thing and it gets people interested and they want to get into the market, maybe that's not how you should proceed, but at least it does the job of getting them interested. So lots of people would want to get in there and trade.
Yeah,
I think most people I know do, but they just
and
don't know how to take that first step.
that's actually one thing that I've gotten a lot of feedback on, right? So I mean, some of the people I'm working with are like, "Yeah, man, you got this right because this is one of the hardest parts. Is how the heck do I even start? What do I need?" That's like what throws most people back. It's like, what do I even do? How do I even start, right? And I'm going to make a first series for the community, which is how do you even start, right? What do you need? You need a broker. What the heck is a broker, right? And which broker is the best, right? So those kind of things. And then when I get a broker, what do I do next? Well, you add money in it. You connect to your bank account or your debit card. You add money in it, and then you start, buying and selling stocks and stuff like that. So that's usually one of the hardest steps, and that's something I want to tackle
Yeah.
as soon as the chat opens. Now, I have a wait list of people that all of them pretty much already have brokerage accounts. Either it's Robinhood or some other one, but I know most of
Mm.
them Robinhood, and so.
I mentioned those guys. I don't want to hear that name again.
Well, you're part of the bandwagon of people that don't want
I
Robinhood.
want to hear that name. I'm moving all my money out of Robinhood. I don't want to hear that name anymore.
But you know what? You know what's interesting though? I mean, they shot themselves in the foot, but you also have to realize all those people had the opportunity to do this to the GameStop stock because of brokerages like Robinhood. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Like they pioneered the
Yeah,
whole
created this.
no commission, the whole, but then they went back against who they were. Like
They didn't go back against it. You have
it's
to
like Robin Hood went to rob the poor farmers to give the
know.
sheriff
No, no,
to give the sheriff their money. That's basically
no. So I'm going to look at it twofold, right? There's two ways to look at it. One is remember, Robinhood is a business, right?
Mhm.
So Citadel is the parent company of the hedge fund that basically went bankrupt. They had to be bailed out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Citadel gives 40% of their revenue to Robinhood because it uses Robinhood's clearinghouse, right? So that's why you can look at it like, oh my God, Robinhood is colluding with the bad guys, right?
yeah.
And that's understandable. But you also have to realize with the amount of volatility that was going on, Robinhood was running out of money at the clearinghouses. If that had happened, what would end up was you put an order and it doesn't get filled because the clearinghouse doesn't have enough money. Because when you click that button, it's not your money that goes straight to the clearinghouse and buys that.
Yeah.
It's
Especially since they do instant deposits.
exactly, and it's Robinhood's
Yeah.
reserves at the clearinghouse that they use to buy the stock, and then a couple of days later, your money actually transfers to the Robinhood accounts and refills that money that was taken out. Well, a lot of people were trading on margin with instant deposits, right? And then that was clearing out Robinhood's money at the clearinghouse. Now that's not a bad thing for Robinhood because the money's going to get replenished, but it's just within one day they were running out of funds really quickly. What do you do in that
That's
case? You shut stuff down and
that's something they should be responsible for. Though. I don't think traders should be losing. It's like that's like Amazon telling you, well, I mean,
so
you
here's
had a lot of high traffic on your website. We just couldn't handle it. Nobody's gonna take that because Amazon is guaranteed like
but that's
you put this stuff here and we're going to I'm not necessarily saying Robinhood has guaranteed this, but Amazon did like that's their thing. Like if you put this traffic, as long as you've paid the money, you provision the servers, we're going to support it. So I don't think traders on our end should be suffering because Robinhood did not have what's it called? They did not have
so let me then ask you this question,
anything in place to prevent that.
right? Let me then ask you this question. If Robinhood didn't give instant deposits, it would take 3 days for your money to go from your account to where you're able to trade with it, right?
More or less. Some like Fidelity does 2 days, I think.
But
And some different.
a day or two, that's all like 2 days to 3 days. That's already more than instant deposit, right?
Yeah.
And if
It-
a broker has the right to limit their margins, so they can also remove their ability to give you margin trading. So
yeah.
if they took away margin trading, a lot of these people will not be able to
And
stocks.
I'm not gonna feel sorry for them because margin causes. After all, they
It's
do
not.
charge
It's not.
interest. They
It's
do
not
charge.
sorry.
I understand it's not really feeling sorry that there are realities involved.
Yeah, there's realities of these things, and what I don't what I've like one thing that's kind of like a peeve or a pet peeve is that yes, these Wall Street bets. I've been part of Wall Street bets for almost 2 years now, by the way, right? So I was seeing some of this unfold, right? But you have to realize what they did not only hurt those hedge fund managers, it hurts people's 401ks, pension funds. Because this is what happens when a hedge fund like, owned by Citadel goes into bankruptcy or has to cover their short positions, which in my opinion, they do need to. Like, you should not be shorting a company over 120%.
Exactly. Some of them are over 140%.
Yep. So I understand that point, right? Now I have to look at it from the other side, right? Which is, so imagine what happened is this. Now they're going out of money, out of position. They have to cover their short positions, right? What will they do in that time? Well, now they have to sell their best performing assets to cover those short positions, right? And so let's say this keeps happening. They keep selling their best performing assets to cover those losses. Well, you're going to bring the entire market down. And that is unacceptable because the market is a way for people to also come out of poverty, besides just education. And if you're taking that away from the rest of the people because you have a vendetta against the rich, which is completely understandable, then you go away from being like a vigilante, like a Robin Hood, right, to being a force. This is what you call what's the word? Uh, this is mob mentality, right? They're being a mob and they're also manipulating the market, whether you like it or not. That is what they're doing.
It is. It is. But to me,
At some point, they
it's
have
bringing attention.
to.
Yeah, to me, it's bringing attention to a larger issue.
Uh-huh.
The fact that
Which they did.
these guys
I'm excited about
have already been manipulating the market for a
it.
long time. First of all, second, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing in the first place. That's what caused this issue to begin with. If they're not shorting stocks above 100%, the short squeeze will not even be happening in the first place. So
No,
they're the ones that it's bringing attention to something that the SEC should already have been looking at. That why are these guys allowed to do these things in the first place?
see,
That's
and
to
that,
me
yeah,
that's what endangers the market to begin with.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm all for it, but I'm also just making sure people understand what the what you call it, the backlash.
Also,
Yeah, what
yeah,
the impact would be, right? Because now think about it this way: as a trader, right? What happens next, right? That's a lot of things we're not talking about. What happens next?
definitely there's going to be some sort of regulation that comes out of it. Personally, I'm not under any
In
illusion
terms
that
of
Wall
regulation,
Street Bets is like they're
not in
like the
terms of
good
regulation,
guys, anything like that.
but in
But
terms of regulation, but in terms of in the market, what happens next?
I don't know. Depends on how the funds react, I guess.
This reality to what's happening right now is for every hedge fund that the Wall Street Bets removes from the shorting list of GameStop, right? Two more join in the short position. And what's going to happen is this: the individuals that don't get out fast enough are going to get majorly busted because
For sure.
they don't have enough money to fight the hedge funds in this war. Now, this is a war well fought. Like I'm all like this needed to happen, right? But now it's like, okay, they can't maintain it forever. And at the end, the hedge funds are going to win. The new hedge funds are going to win because the price is way too inflated. You have to crash back down, right? Because GameStop
Yeah,
is not that great of a company. I mean, let's be honest. They
yeah,
were online to go bankrupt, in my opinion, right?
definitely. But AMC also.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen is these new hedge funds are going to make money. Now, that's where the regulations are going to come into place because SEC and government entities only care when individuals start getting hurt. And so right now, the individuals are not hurt yet, right? It's the hedge funds that got hurt. That's why you have politicians on the sides of the individual. When it crashes into correction, that's when they will get hurt, and the SEC and the government entities will then intervene. Now, will they intervene in a good way? We don't know, right? The market crash of 2008. They didn't really create that much good regulation that really helped, right? I mean, they
Yeah, they just created more paperwork and more bureaucracy.
exactly. So we'll see what happens, but that's the market for you. And these are the kind of questions. And Discord is a voice chat, has voice chats too. So we can literally have these conversations
Yeah,
on a voice group where people ask questions like this, and I'm able to answer them and kind of show them both sides of the equation and
yeah.
so forth. And why
I think this
get short? Like you should. I'd never short. Never, never, ever.
I think this needed to happen though,
Yeah,
for better or for worse. It needed to happen because somebody needed to raise this question: why are these guys allowed to do stuff like this?
you can't
It
sell a
needs
house you
to, it
don't
needs
own,
to be addressed.
right? You can't sell
Exactly. Like I saw that tweet Elon Musk put out. Like you cannot.
like how
How are these guys allowed to
you know.
sell things that are not even in existence?
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it happened. It just sucks because like some of the assets I owned that were really good performing started dropping down. But again, that's where the 80-20 rule comes into play, right? 80% of them are long term, so I'm gonna hold on to them.
Yeah, the long term ones are fine. Like that's a fire sale for you,
Like
basically.
Apple had an amazing earnings call. Now they didn't give guidance, but had an amazing earnings call. I mean, they made their first over $100 billion in revenue, right?
Yeah, so
First time in the company's history. It's the best earnings they've had since like 2015, right? But yet it went down. The only reason it went down was because all those short sellers
those guys were clearing.
had to sell their Apple stocks to cover their asses from the short positions. And like, it's saddening because I'm like, dang, I really wanted Apple to go up, but hey, I'm holding it for a while, so I'm going to be okay. And it's an opportunity
Yeah,
to buy even more because I had some extra cash in that
exactly.
account. So, those are
Long term is not a bad
what
thing.
community gets to.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there are definitely some funds on the side of what Wall Street bets are doing as well. But it needed to be raised. Somebody needs to address that issue for it just can't continue. Stuff like that is it can't continue. And market manipulation as a whole cannot continue the way it's been going on. And it's not just in the stock market, forex, even crypto. Those funds got into the crypto market also. They play with that market like it's a yo-yo when they want to, whenever Bitcoin is going up.
And so on and so forth. Yeah, my friend is actually very good at crypto. He's been able to follow like these pumps and dumps movements, and he understands that market pretty well. And so that's why I have him joining the group to give people that access to that as well. That
Yeah,
diversification is important. So if you're maybe interested in not necessarily just forex, but crypto, then he can also look at
yeah.
crypto.
That's another space that confuses people even more than the stock market. Like it sounds similar to the stock market, but then it sounds like some alien
Yeah,
technology to most people.
I remember my
So
days.
that would be a good thing to educate on.
Like
Say again?
that was I traded forex for a year or two, and the only reason I stopped was because it was not sustainable. Like I made money in forex, but I mean the market is open 24/5, right? So it opens on the Sunday evening, and then it's open until Friday. And I was sleeping out all times of the day. I wasn't sleeping well. It was stressful. An eye on it all the time. Now, that was just because I was doing trading, right? You can also go long and short and stuff like that in the forex.
Yeah,
You can also go long on a dollar for 2 months, right? If you want. But I wasn't doing that. I was doing like active trading and stuff like that, and it was just not sustainable. I remember the day I quit. I was on my way to my 9 to 5, like every normal human being, and I had some positions open in forex. And as I was driving, I checked the app and my positions were going up like crazy. I mean, I was going up by like $10 a freaking second, right? And at some point I was like $10,000 up, right? And so I was like, shoot, I can't miss this opportunity to close these positions and cash out. So I had to pull up. I had to pull on the side of the highway on a bridge. So this is I don't know if you've like on 183 going to like Capel and stuff. You take that big ramp on the George Bush Turnpike. I had to pull off on the shoulder of the highway on a bridge to close these positions. And that was the day I decided no more forex trading for me. Because I was like, this is dangerous. I'm stressed out. I'm not sleeping well. Let me just stick with the stock market. At least there I can go long and hold on to stocks and do more value based investment.
yeah,
And that's how I went away from forex. I own a couple crypto positions, uh, but yeah, that's basically. I can teach some forex, but I'd rather have somebody who's still in the market teach it rather than me because I've not been in that market
yeah,
for 2 years.
yeah. Forex is another thing I've historically avoided. I played with it for a little bit. I didn't. One thing about forex is I never really understood it, and I never attempted to understand it. I just joined this group where this girl was giving calls, and eventually I stopped doing that because I just decided it's not a good idea to trade based on what someone else is doing without understanding what you're doing.
Yep. So
It
here,
just
here's the spark.
I didn't like the idea at all.
Here's a spark notes to forex. So imagine you have $100. You're going on vacation in Mexico, right? Let's say right now the exchange rate between the dollar and the Mexican pesos is 1 to 5, right? So your $100 will give you 500 pesos, right? So
Mhm.
go on vacation to Mexico with your $100, which turns into 500 pesos when you're there. Let's say by God's miracle, you landed with the you met the daughter of the president of Mexico, and she covered your whole trip, right? And you didn't have to spend your $100, aka 500 pesos, right?
Okay.
So while you're there, you go on vacation, you enjoy life, and let's say she spends so much money on you there, right? That it increases the Mexican economy, right? Let's say the Mexican economy like suddenly becomes like $1 trillion richer based on what she spent on you there, right?
Yeah.
And now the exchange rate between the dollar and the Mexican pesos is now 1 to 3.
So when you go back,
Let's
yeah.
say 1 to 1. Let's say 1 to 1 because that would be an easier conversion, right?
Yeah.
We're from being 1 to 5 to 1 to 1, right? And now you leave Mexico and come back to the US, right? Your $100 that you took to Mexico that you turned into 500 pesos. Now when you come back, you change it back to dollars. Now you have $500,
Yeah.
right? So you effectively uh, quadrupled, quintupled your money,
25, yeah.
right? You quintupled your money. So now you have $500. You made a profit of $400 by going to Mexico.
Yeah. I understand the basic
Yeah,
premise of
that's how Forex
the
works.
currency exchange, but the intricacies of it is what I don't like. With options, I could explain to you with options like, oh, this is what a contract is, this is what happens, you get the chance to execute, but that doesn't mean you understand the Greeks and the Delta Gamma and all of that.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I don't get
different beast.
about Forex. Yeah. So I understand currency exchange, but beyond that, I don't really know what's going on the market. I haven't really sat down to try and understand it
No,
really.
it's so big, man. It is so big that sometimes it's very overwhelming. Uh, like world news. I mean, you have to keep track of some of those things. Like when the U.S. is giving out its numbers for the GDP growth and so on and so forth. You have to know, okay, what's the GDP and what was this supposed to be, and what would a number higher or lower than this mean, and then what would that mean
Yeah.
for other currencies, and what would that mean for the dollar, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely intricate, and it gave me a boost with my like investment and trading career in the stock market just by knowing forex, but it's definitely not a requirement.
Yeah. I
So
think I feel more at home with the stock market. It's
yeah,
just
the stock market.
less abstract to me somehow.
Yep, it is. It is. And then, but yeah, it's man, these markets, they're fun when they're fun and they're not fun when they're not fun. But it just takes, having a plan and sticking to it. That's something that a lot of traders, that at least some that I know, have a lot of hard time with is sticking to a plan because when you
Yeah.
kick in, you become an emotional investor. I have to remind myself every day, don't invest based on emotion, right? When you invest, just make sure that you don't need that money for anything else and let it sit there. Let it do its thing. Your money will work harder for you and make more money for you than another human being because you can hire another human being with your money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so that's the philosophy behind my investments and my investing, and I'm trying to make sure that my people, get the same resources, get somebody or some people that can push them towards that road, and just become an overall better investor and better person who's trying to build a good life for themselves.
Yeah. What trading platform do you use? I'm looking for a new home for my
I'll,
money.
I'll recommend going to Webull.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that from a lot of people, but I also heard that they're very finicky with transferring in money and transferring out also.
I mean, yeah, but they're new and they don't have like I don't know why people are going away from Robinhood. I'm staying in Robinhood, but that's going to be like my personal portfolio. I have another portfolio in Charles Schwab, and if you want, you can go to Charles Schwab. They also own Ameritrade, but Ameritrade did the same similar restrictions.
Yeah, that's my headache right now because TD Ameritrade is one that I've been wanting to go to for a while, and that was like my go-to. 'Cause I love their Thinkorswim
Yeah, I think
platform.
it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, I recommend Webull because Webull also has like obviously they all have extended market hours, but Webull, if I remember correctly, does it from like the 4 a.m. time, which when it usually opens, to the
Yeah,
8 p.m. time. And I think they actually allow normal traders, like retail traders, to also trade within those extended hours. Robinhood only allows retail,
Robinhood is eight to six, I think.
yeah, eight till 5, which is not the full extended market hours. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to actually have a Webull account, and I'm going to be using that actively as well for the community, right? For people that use Webull, because I want to make sure I kind of cover all the platforms that I'd be asking
yeah,
to have. Robinhood is still my number one recommendation because, like I said, I don't invest based on emotions, They don't make decisions based on a mob mentality because we don't like a certain platform because it did something that, in my opinion, was justified, right? I mean, they pretended their actions. They said they're going to, allow limited buying, which is cool too. And I'm not going to let a couple million people dictate what another 200, 100 or 90 million people are using just because they went and not even 100 million people, not even a million people. It's like 100,000 people that went and boycotted Robinhood and started doing, went for a lawsuit and giving bad reviews. So only 100,000. Robinhood has over a million, over 10 million users. So I'm not going to let
You know
100
the
people determine that.
the trading they halted wasn't just those particular stocks. Like they got into some others too. Like yesterday at the close of market, I was trying to buy what was this stock I was trying to buy? I was trying to buy some Moderna. As far as I know, it wasn't involved with the Wall Street's bet stuff, but they were restricting the number of shares of Moderna I could buy. I'm not sure why they were doing that. They were also doing that for Dogecoin. They basically stopped trading. I know the Wall Street bets people were playing with Dogecoin as well. They were mentioning Dogecoin here and there,
It,
but
I mean,
what was the purpose for doing? It's not even like GameStop where they're just like, oh, we're not trading this or restricting trading. It kept showing up like it was a network error or something, but
because that's what I'm
not
saying.
really.
You might think that, oh, they were doing that on purpose. Sometimes they're getting those network errors because there's so much traffic on another end. I'm a software developer, right? So I have to look at it
Yeah.
in terms of the infrastructure. This was unprecedented. This is not something they were ready for,
So
right?
as somebody from a networking background, I feel like that's their mistake. That's them falling on their sword basically.
But what can
Because
you do about it?
especially with cryptocurrency, you should be ready. They should have been ready for that before getting into the
So
cryptocurrency
they
trading.
were
You should
not
be
ready
ready.
for it, right? Since they were not ready for it, right? So it's like you're running a network, right? Let's say you should have been ready for something, but then something crazy happens, your network crashes. Yes, it's your responsibility, right? But the best you can do is let people know, like, hey, you can't do this because our network is having a problem. They're giving you a network error. But they can't sit there and you can't, yeah, you're right. You have the right to leave them. But you can then say, okay, well, they're doing that to really just stop us. Like it becomes into a conspiracy theory level.
Yeah,
Where like,
almost.
and like, I understand Robin Hood's, you know, I mean, just think about it this way. Yes, they can fuck up. Sorry to be cursing when you're on your podcast, right? But they can F up because they also provided these people with access to this type of information that they're able to make this type of money and do this in the first place.
I think that's why it hurt people so much. Actually, I think that was people just felt betrayed. Like they never. If
Understandable.
it was TD Ameritrade or even
Yeah,
Charles Schwab that did it, people would be like, whatever.
yeah. And
These two,
that's why the
they
news,
felt so betrayed before because of Robinhood.
yeah, that's why the news, the articles are all about Robin Hood did this, Robin Hood did this. They never
Yeah,
Ameritrade did this,
that's
right?
the part I don't like. Like, is Robinhood as being witch hunted per
Yeah,
se? Like the congressional, I think was it a hearing or summons? I don't know why it was directed towards only Robinhood, but I was surprised when I found out that other platforms did the same thing. Only reason why I knew Robinhood is because it happened to me personally. Like I was trying to buy more in the morning, and they were showing me that I could only close out my position. I couldn't buy anymore. The volume was zero.
yeah. Like, and that's the crazy thing. Like, so here, let me put a little my tin foil hat on and go a little bit conspiracy on y'all, right? So look at how every single one of the politicians went against Robinhood, right? Robinhood is the only platform that pioneered the free trading, no commission, commission free trading before all these other places that give the power of investing to retail investors, right? Before all these other things. And now they F up once in something like this, every politician that wants to regulate them. Who do you think that benefits?
It benefits the big people, of course.
Exactly.
Benefits the big people.
It benefits the big people, the people that these retailers are trying to fight in the first place.
Like when you hear Ted Cruz starting to
Bro,
agree with
that's
something, you know there's a problem.
one. Because we
You know there's a problem.
doesn't care about these retail investors.
When you hear Ted Cruz and Donald Trump Jr. agreeing on something,
Bro.
you know there's a problem somewhere.
So that's my only like like I said, I don't make decisions based on like an emotional roller coaster, right? And that's how I'm looking at it. Yes, they effed up. We've all effed up in life. We're just not, Robin Hood where we get on the news, but we've all effed up, and they effed up, right? They didn't think this.
Yeah.
They didn't think their PR through. They didn't think what this would mean for them. I think honestly, it would have been better for them to just let the system keep crashing and giving out a network error than actually halt it. Although,
Most yeah.
yeah. Although at a business perspective, halting it was the better choice because you'd rather keep your system running for other people, a majority of people, than to cater towards a minority of people that are doing big things. But that's just how it is. It's good when it's good, and it's bad when it's bad. So
Yeah, most of my reason for wanting to take it out, like what happened pissed me off, but for me, I was kind of weighing the pros and cons. Like I'm pissed off, but Robinhood is also really, really convenient. So
yeah, it is, man.
most likely, I wasn't even going to leave it. I'm just hearing some news about what the regulation might mean for them. They might, I don't know, with the way the PR is going. That's why I'm moving my money out because even though I was pissed off, I was still thinking. On one hand, I'm pissed off. On the other hand, I'm hearing Webull might charge me $75 to take my money out. And Robinhood is so convenient, so I
Yeah,
was probably just gonna stick with it anyways.
regulation is not going to do shit to them. Let me already add that to your plate because think about it. When I don't know if you remember this episode that happened in the market. This happened a year ago, 2 years ago. I think it was 2019. On Wall Street Bets, these guys are known for being degenerates. That's what we call ourselves on the Wall Street Bets, degenerates, right? They found a way to use margin trading to do infinite trading, right? Using Robinhood's money, right? And brokers are tasked with protecting retail investors. It's literally one of their rules they have to follow is they have to make sure retail investors don't hurt themselves because retail investors are not as sophisticated investing as industrial investors, right? And so when these people on Wall Street Bets found this way to basically do infinite margin trading, they were opening $1 million option contracts, opening $1 million positions in companies, right? And guess what? You had people losing a million of money they didn't have. You had people losing. This guy lost 50 grand on live. excuse me, on live and filmed it on YouTube while he was losing all that money in seconds. Right? Guess what happened? SEC came and sued Robinhood, right, for not protecting retail investors by allowing them to do speculative trading and margin trading to that level, right? Here is an obvious time when retail investors are doing speculative trades that could cost them their entire life savings. And Robinhood does exactly what the SEC would demand of them to do. And now people are thinking that the SEC will regulate them. It won't. Now, retail investors are angry and there's a lawsuit which they might win. But the thing is, Robinhood's terms and conditions gives them the right to halt trading at any given time
It does.
to keep,
It does.
moving. So they might not lose this lawsuit.
Robinhood's problem here is not so much that they halted trade. It's this storm, the perfect storm of a number of things. Their reputation for being the Robin Hood, the steal from the rich to the poor,
Yeah.
and then the fact that they're associated with these hedge funds in the
Yeah,
first place. So now
that's where, yeah,
it
that's
looks
how I
like
really
the
effed up.
curtain just got pulled back, and now we're seeing the real Wizard of Oz. That's what it looks like, even though that might not be what is really going on.
But yeah,
It's kind of hard for them to explain how. Oh, we're on your side, but
yeah,
we're working with these guys also.
it's like walking in your husband with your worst enemy, right? Your nemesis, right, in the bathroom, and your husband is walking out of the bathroom, buttoning up his pants or zipping up his pants, right? He might have just come out from peeing,
Exactly.
right? He might have just been coming out to go out while she was going in, but you don't see that, so you're thinking, wait a minute, did you
I
just
wasn't sure where this your analogy was going, but yeah, that's
you're like, wait,
that's a good example.
come out of the bathroom with my nemesis? What's going on here? You know. So that's where they got a problem. But I'm not leaving Robinhood. So that's just my opinion there.
Honestly, it's convenient. I've
And
said I was gonna leave, but
guess what?
it's too convenient.
I'm glad all these things are happening before the IPO, right? Because it gives them a stronger business once this is all done. They will keep the core Robinhood investors, and grow more and add more services. Because one thing Robinhood doesn't have right now is like a good automated investment system, right? Which I'm sure they're going to build on.
I think they activated that recently, actually.
No, not drip. I'm not talking about drip. I'm talking
No,
about like
not drip. I mean, like when you can set like auto invest on a weekly basis.
yeah,
I've
that
been waiting for them to do that for a while. They've activated that now.
concept with drip. But yeah, I see I think what you're talking about. Yeah, like I'm talking about more like M1 Finance. M1 Finance
So,
Finance provides like portfolios, right, based on your risk tolerance and so on and so forth.
oh, okay, okay. Stats does something similar.
I think that will bring them more users, more passive investors. So I mean,
Yeah,
at the the main idea is I'm sticking with Robinhood. I'm going to use Webull as well. I have Charles Schwab. I'm probably going to use. I'm open a Fidelity account because there's some accounts I want to play with in there.
yeah,
There's different type of investment accounts, right? So I'm trying to play with some accounts that I'm trying to leverage for real estate and stuff. So I'm going to open some Fidelity accounts and try to use those. Vanguard as well. So, but and those things will come later on as I get a handle of them, and then I will start giving those type of information to the community
yeah.
as well. But I will still recommend Robinhood as my number one choice. And
It's
then
a good place for novices to begin. Like, I'm definitely gonna look into Webull too. The money transfer thing just kind of made me pause a little bit because I don't know. I wasn't liking what I was hearing. Apart from that, I've only heard good things.
yeah, no, we both good. I like the interface. Again, it's not as intuitive as Robinhood, right? But it actually gives you more information than Robinhood does.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that as well.
So yeah, I recommend Robinhood for people that are starting off first. Robinhood is easy, it's convenient, it's good to learn on. Then afterwards, I will say Webull, and then Charles Schwab, Fidelity. I even use Wells Fargo. I have a brokerage account with Wells Fargo.
So far, I'm not a fan of Fidelity. It looks very, I don't know. It looks very
The
unwieldy, very old fashioned.
Yeah, it is. It is old fashioned, but they will get there. They will get there. They will get there. And then like there's obviously Morgan Stanley that bought E Trade last year or the year before. So E Trade is part of the Morgan Stanley family.
Mm,
So, but yeah, I'll recommend Robinhood for when people join the group, the community. I'll put my list of what brokers I think are best for you and what stages you're in. Robinhood would be the top. I mean, they're just convenient. They're good.
yeah.
They have a good business. They fucked up, and I'm gonna forgive them for it. But
Rob-
people that have reservations for it, totally understandable. They can use Webull, Charles Schwab. So that's what we're gonna be using in the community.
Yeah. Robinhood is getting to the point where they're kind of making stash obsolete for me. Like basically everything I got into stash for, Robinhood has
Yep.
gradually added all of those things. There's only basically one thing now that stash does that Robinhood doesn't do. The
Rob,
oh yeah, I forgot the Roth IRAs
yep.
and also the what you just mentioned a while ago, the custom portfolios
Mhm.
that they put together.
Yep.
Apart from those two things, like everything else Robinhood does now, the bank accounts, everything they have it all now.
Yep. Yeah,
So at some point, I just love using Dash even.
my Roth with stash. I mean, I'm up 50% in my Roth with stash, which is freaking crazy because I only opened that Roth like 2 years ago. 50% in 2 years. That's 25% a year, right? And I performed so well because I looked into the future before I bought that Roth. My Roth is literally comprised of clean energy, EVs, and you've obviously seen the trend of these green energy companies going bunkers and going crazy high.
Yeah,
So it's been it's been a fun ride, and I can't wait to like just throw all this stuff out into the community and get it done. My goal is to try to get to 1,000 people by the end of the year, which is it's a pretty huge task. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah.
I think I want to get to 100 by the end of the first month, and try to increase it by 100 every month thereafter. Uh, so we'll see. I'm trying to do some ads through Spicy Suya Boys that I'm managing right now. Uh, Through some of my friends that have huge social media following, I'm doing promotions for it. So if the first 100 people are getting, there's the pricing that's going to be on the website. I think we should just go.
Oh yeah, I was just about to ask about that too.
I'm doing a promotion. So there's two different pricing levels, right? For the first 100 people, the pricing is normally $19.99 a month, right? For the first
Okay.
month. That's what they will always want to pay as long as they're part of the community.
So that's gonna be locked in, basically.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
As long as they're in the community, the first 100 people will only pay $17.99. Now I'm giving them a 10% discount for 3 months when they join, right? So they'll be paying $15.99 for the first 3 months, and then it goes to $17.99 afterwards, right?
Okay.
And then after that, the first 1,000.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Was it 17.99 or 19.99?
Sorry, uh,
So it's 19.99 and then 10% discount to
yeah,
to
yes,
17.99.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm the investor
All
who's
right.
my math. That's yes.
My brain was glitching when I heard that.
In terms of, I would think of it in terms of the what you call it, the 17.99 already.
The 99 is confusing. I'll never get used to that thing in America here. Like I'm still using I still think of 1999 as $20. That's how my
I mean,
brain
that's how I think about it too. So 19.99 is the original price for the first 100 people. They're getting 10% off, so it's going to be 17.99, right?
Okay.
3 months, and then it will go back to 19.99 for as long as they're part of the community. And
All
then
right.
the first 900 people after that batch, right? The price is $39.99, right? So $40 a month.
Okay.
But I'm doing a 60% discount for the first 3 months, right? Which means they're paying the same as the people that are the first 100 for the first 3 months.
Okay.
And then after that, they will then start paying their $39.99.
All right.
Yeah,
So
so
after we get off this call right now, I can literally go to your website and sign up.
the website is not live yet.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to push the website live tomorrow and send out a newsletter to all of you guys that are on the wait list. Send out an
How
email.
do I get on the wait list?
How did you get on the wait list?
How do I get on the wait list?
Basically, you send me your email and phone number and your name, and
Okay. Okay.
you know, if the followers already have me on Instagram and stuff, they can just slide in my DM and send it out to
All
me,
right.
or they can also just text my phone number if you want me to give out the phone number on here.
You can give it out now. I'll also put the website on the description for this. This is gonna be coming out maybe during the week. I usually do weekends, but since you're launching tomorrow, maybe I'll just bring this out during the week.
Yep.
So by then the website should be up.
Yep. Yeah. Then everything should be fine there. But yeah. So once the website is live, I set up a whole marketing. What you call it? I have a CMS and a CRM ready to kind of like run these emails out for me. Have newsletters I'm going to be sending out, every week to talk about the market and stuff like that, so we can get some spark notes on what the community is going to be doing, so on and so forth. So and so far,
How's your
sorry.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
I say so far it's just me running this. So hopefully in the near future I can get somebody to start writing the newsletters, so I don't have to write them, right? And somebody to send out the emails to the email sends and stuff like that. So like a
Okay.
marketing manager or something.
How's your charging process gonna go? You're gonna take credit info on the website, or how's
Yeah.
it gonna work?
So everything is. I'm not. I built the website, but I didn't build the what you call it, the credit card processing. I'm using Stripe.
Okay. Okay.
I'm using Stripe in conjunction with LaunchPass. I don't know if you're familiar with LaunchPass. LaunchPass
Yeah.
is basically like a middleware company that does all the subscription stuff for you, that connects it
Okay.
to your Discord and your Slack. So it manages the users. So if they miss the payment, I'm giving them like 2 weeks or a week to fix it, or they will get kicked out of the community by LaunchPass. So LaunchPass takes care of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It sounds like it's gonna be a pretty interesting community.
yeah, man, I
Um,
think it is. If I can get 1,000 people on there, I think I'll cap it at 1,000 people, just so it's sustainable. It's still more. How do you say it? It's a little bit more intimate, and then that way you always have people on there that can always talk to you, and that might be further along in the program than you are, so they can give you some
yeah.
information that you probably didn't have, and you don't have to have to wait on me to give you information because I might be busy with 100 other people, and you have
Yeah.
to be on the line. And so having multiple in there would definitely be helpful. And if I end up having more than 1,000, I'll probably create a fork, right? Create a different community for the same purpose, and then put somebody else in charge of the
Yeah. I was just thinking. I was just thinking you could actually like franchise out different new groups or something like that.
that's of
That'd
course.
be interesting.
But,
Yeah.
but I want it to be a community thing, and And we need it, man. We need it. As the African/African American community, we need it. We need
Yeah.
we need some way to get through the door because the pandemic taught me one very prominent thing is that it's going to work out unless we make it work out. I mean, black people got poorer during this pandemic, while almost every other race got richer.
Yeah, all the small and I don't like saying small, but basically the small people got poor in general,
Yep.
while the rich people, I think I was seeing something like the richest people in the richest 1% got like 10 trillion richer or something over the pandemic, something like that,
I,
and some ungodly number like that.
ungodly number. But yeah, so I think we need it, and I think it's going to be helpful. Uh, and then we'll see how it goes, man. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. That all I have to do is deliver. I think I should be able to handle at least that for now, and just get people moving.
All right, cool. Looking forward to it. Thanks for hopping on the call here. I think I just let you know about this like what 2 3 days ago. But yeah, definitely something I wanted to discuss. All the madness has been going on too. I figured, oh wow, perfect timing. I can just throw this in here too.
And that I was saying the same thing. I was like, wow, this is perfect that it's falling because, like, I know as soon as we launch, we're gonna get some questions about what's happening right now,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be like, oh, should I buy GameStop? And my answer will be no, you shouldn't.
I already had like 3 people I know text me or call me asking about the GameStop thing. People that I know, well, as far as I know, are not really into the stock market or anything like that. But it got so big that even they
Yeah.
heard about it and were having questions.
I've had people ask me, should I buy GameStop? I'm like, no, not right now. I mean, the thing is off its high, and if you look at the charts, it's not looking so well for the
I saw
whole.
you're buying some puts on GameStop.
Huh?
I think I saw on your Instagram you're buying some puts on GameStop and
Yeah,
stuff like
I made like $700 on it because I knew it was gonna like sky back up and it's gonna play like.
yeah,
That's how I look at it, right? Like if I'm really doing trading, bro, I can make money whether the market goes up or down, right?
yeah,
And I do that sometimes, a lot of
yeah,
times. So it's you have to just know to do that, right? But your long term stays long term. 20% is for you to play with it and do all that kind of stuff. Because when you look at the chart for GameStop right now, man, oh man, it's not looking.
puts are actually what attracted me to options in the first place. The idea of it sounded so interesting. It's like, wow, okay, so I can actually make money. Wow.
Yeah.
But
It's going to be an interesting month in February because it can get very bad in February for those hedge funds. Like it can get worse for those hedge funds, but it can also get
yeah,
very bad for these retail investors. So we're going to see, and I'm getting ready to like for example tonight I'm going to chart the GameStop and see where the movement's at, check some volumes, and check how much it's trading for and what the ask and bids are, and see okay what's going to happen on Monday. Is it going to tank or is it going to go up? Right? That's how I can determine, what I want to do with GameStop stock if I want to trade it at all.
yeah.
But
If you have bandwidth for this, something I think might be a good idea that some groups like this do also is to have like live trading sessions with people for them to watch you while you're actually setting up trades or getting out of trades, that kind of thing. I
yes.
find that that's very helpful. Then some other channels do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to do that in the future. Obviously, I still also have a 9 to 5, right, or 8,
Yeah,
right. So opens at 8:30. So I'm gonna work something out with my work where I probably start my day an hour later than normal, which I can do. My company is very accommodating, and they know I take care of them and
yeah.
me, so I don't usually have to worry about that. But I will be doing like the voice calls in the morning. So let me just add
Okay.
there. Obviously, I'm up at like 4:30 in the morning. That's when early trading really starts, right? But nobody's
Yeah.
at that time. But I'm up at 4:30 and I take care of myself, whether it's the gym or eating some breakfast and stuff. Around 7 a.m., I'm hoping or I'm thinking that's the time I want to start getting on the voice Discord chat in the morning. Just talk about what I'm looking at, for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. I'll either do it on a Monday,
Okay.
like the Monday call might be the one where I'm talking about what I'm looking for in the week, right? Have some kind of like uh, one weekly voice call and then like maybe some impromptu voice calls, right?
Yeah.
But at least have that where you discuss what you're looking for in the week and what earnings are coming up and how you will play those earnings and so on and so forth. What stocks I'm going to buy or what stocks I'm thinking of buying. And then the text chats for the signals will just be where I post when I'm entering a trade and when I'm exiting a trade. So people can just look at it like, okay, he entered here at this price and is exiting here at this,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going to do that. And then whenever I get more bandwidth, like you said, then because there's going to be videos, I'm obviously going to film videos. It's not sustainable if I have to teach it every time, right? I'm making videos.
Yeah.
I have my ring light that just came in and stuff like that. So I'm making videos for the educational part. But then, like you said, I'm going to be doing streaming live trading, and I'm probably going to do it on Twitch because I have it connected with my Discord. So
Okay.
that as well.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Sounds like there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for hopping on. I guess we'll go ahead and cut it off here. No, we'll be here for
And
God
I,
knows how long. But yeah, I'll send you my email and what was it? Email and or the email and phone number.
you're already
We'll
on the
get
wait
on the
list, man. You're already on the wait list. Remember?
Okay, because I know we talked about it, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that
No,
got me on the
no.
waiting list.
As soon as we talked about it, you remember I also have your email from like all our other.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kennedy, and then all the numbers at the end that I always give you a hard time for.
Wait. That's probably my Gmail.
Yeah, that was your Gmail.
Thinking,
Yeah.
nah, I don't really use that one like that. My Yahoo Mail is better. Kennedy
Yeah, I think I have the Yahoo as well.
2007.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I have the Yahoo as well.
yeah. Funny story. I recently created a new Yahoo Mail that's a lot shorter, so I'm gonna start using that soon, so I don't have to keep suffering to type my email in.
But yeah,
But yeah, good
I
stuff.
have,
Good stuff.
I have a lot of interesting people on there. Like I think you know some of them too, so it's gonna be fun.
I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it. Well, anyways, thanks again. I guess we'll catch you next time. I'm sure you're going to be on another future episode. This guy has his hands in all the pots everywhere, so I'm sure you're going to be on another episode.
Hey man, there's rainbows everywhere and golden pots. Of them. But yeah, thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it, and I'm always down to do an episode with you.
All right.
Hey man.
Until next time, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to, I was my YouTube. I'm sorry to YouTube. I'm always used to say like, share, subscribe, but you know what I mean. So follow, share it, whatever it is you can do on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you guys next time.